Welcome to Jersey's Finest Foodies. I'm your host, retired Detective Lieutenant John Kerner. On this week's episode, I'd like to welcome retired Washington Township Police Lieutenant Doug Compton. Doug dedicated 26 years of his life to law enforcement. So why don't you join us while we grab a bite to eat at one of Doug's favorite restaurants, Pasta Grill by Enzo's. Now let's go inside and meet Doug. What's up, Doug? How are you doing, man? Good. Good to see you. You too. How's everything? I made mistakes, I must move on. Live and learn from today, because tomorrow is a brand new day. All right, well, Doug, thank you so much for being on my show. I'm very excited to talk to you about your career. Why don't you first tell the audience, what did you order for us today?
So I went with the traditional wacky Caesar salad.
Okay, so this is a Caesar salad, but they call it wacky because it looks like they added some fusilli pasta on here with some blackened chicken. Is that correct?
Yeah, you got to be a little healthy, right? Have a little grilled chicken on top.
All right, no, it looks great. I'm going to throw some dressing on here. All right, and let's give this a taste.
It won't be disappointing.
No, it looks fantastic.
Always got to start with the chicken first.
Yes.
Done just right?
That is so good. The chicken is cooked perfectly. I never had pasta in my Caesar salad. It's absolutely out of this world. Great job by Dino at Enzo's. All right, well, let's give the audience a little taste of your career. Where did it all begin?
So in 1994, I was hired at Washington Township Police Department in Morris County, and I was able to serve there for 26 years. Held different roles, and my first promotion was in 2002, where I achieved the rank of sergeant. Right. And then went on to become lieutenant in 2011.
Okay, and you were in basically patrol your entire career?
No, I served in the Detective Bureau Traffic Division, and also I had the opportunity where my education background started coming together was teaching DARE also.
Okay, awesome. So, all right, so you had a little good mixture of things throughout your career, so a lot of experience in different things.
Absolutely, and I think in today's, that's really important because the community policing model is so important today to tie that connection back from law enforcement to the citizens. Right. So yeah, that was
very good. Okay, did you follow any family members in law enforcement?
I did. So my father served 26 years also in Irvington. So, and I actually grew up in Irvington, so that started the whole process. So He would come home every day while he was working. He would eat his meals there. And he was always around other officers who were at the house or at the station, which was right around the corner from our house. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I followed in his footsteps,
right.
absolutely.
Wow, 26 years in Irvington.
Yeah, we both did 26.
We both did 26 years. That's pretty cool.
Not on purpose, just the way it worked out.
Just the way it worked out. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the current state of law enforcement today?
I think it's gotten a bad rap, to be honest with you. I think it's still the best job in the whole wide world. If I had the opportunity again, I probably would still go back and do it again.
Okay.
I only retired, so to speak, because another opportunity came along. Okay. So, but I don't think everything that's being portrayed in the media, I think you would agree, is not our friend sometimes.
Right.
Makes things a lot worse than what they are. But listen, there's things that need to be fixed, and they are being fixed.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. That's totally true. All right. So basically, you said that you love the career, you would do it again. So if you had an opportunity, if you were 21 again in this day and age, would you choose law enforcement?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would, in a heartbeat. It's still, like I said, it's still the best job in the whole wide world. I mean, I think you would agree, right? I mean, it's the ticket to the best show.
It is.
Right? Because mostly every day something different's going to happen.
Right.
And you don't know. That's the excitement that you get up and go to work every day, whether it's days or nights, and it's like, what's going to be presented to you.
Right. No, absolutely. And it's a fulfilling job. I mean, the amount of people we do help in our careers, lives we save or whatever, it's very fulfilling.
Yeah, and I agree. That's always the standing motto, is like, we're here to serve and protect, right? But there's also other things, mentoring and growing new officers and growing the organization was always something that, that I focused on.
Yeah,
too.
no, absolutely, very good. So if you knew someone, a young man or young woman at age 21 came to you and like, hey Doug, I really want to be a cop. Would you support them? Wouldn't you? And what would be one piece of advice you would give them?
Yeah, so I think the first thing they have to understand, right? So what we see on TV and what occurs on TV every night, these different shows.
They're entertaining, sure.
There's some good shows, right? But you're not going to solve a homicide, especially today's day and age with DNA. You're not going to solve something within 42 minutes, right? So that you have to take off the table to begin with. But I would absolutely tell them that if that's what their heart is set at doing, I would not tell them not to do it. And I think, as you know, right, in my post-retirement, I'm in higher ed now, so I actually deal with this on a common basis. And I tell them what they're going to expect and how it's going to be, and it is the best job, right? And most of them that are in the higher education that come into criminal justice, they already know they want to do it, right? So it's the ones who are kind of like thinking about over here, and then okay, maybe. But then again, they're the ones that see things on TV and think, that's cool. Yeah. But that's really not reality.
Correct.
Right? So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I would encourage any male or female, especially females. Right.
Yeah, they are needed.
They are definitely needed. And I think respectfully, you and I both can say is they handle the job differently. And that's not a negative connotation, right? They just handle things differently. Yeah. Right? And especially when you're dealing with, female victims, children, they're going to definitely gravitate to a female officer.
Absolutely. No, that definitely helps the female victims, or like I said, or children. All right, if you can change one law, you had the ability to change one law today, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be everybody's same answer is the bail reform, because you've seen trends since bail reform has been changed, and the spike in crime, especially in, I don't want to pick on them, but New York City, right? I mean, you hear the officers there, they're not even done with their paperwork yet, and the defendant's already been released and back out, and sometimes rearrested immediately, right? So bail reform definitely needs to be readdressed.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a top answer with my guest. That seems to be the number one issue with what's going on in society and the criminals back on the street.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if no one's held accountable, right? Or if you are kind of held accountable, and you know that, I mean, we always gravitate to the worst thing like murder, right? But even that, I mean, but if you know you're going to go do a job, and you're going to be back out on the street,
I know.
It's 50-50. Yep. You roll the dice and get right back out.
Exactly. What would you miss the most? Like, whether it's, the friendships, the job itself. What's the one thing you miss?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the job itself, and like I said earlier, the different excitements. I was in a smaller department, locally here, but there were things every day that were occurring. Right. So I think the job itself, just the excitement, and going back to that analogy of helping people, because that's what we do, right? We do go serve and protect.
We serve and protect. Yep.
People don't call us to say hello, right? No. They don't call 911 just to say, hey, what's going on? They have a problem. They're at usually where are they at?
They're at the worst.
End of the rope, the worst, and they don't know what to do.
Exactly.
So being able to solve problems sometimes makes you feel, like you did something good for everybody. But yeah, probably that and the camaraderie. Okay. Yeah, the camaraderie. Right. And sometimes it's good and bad, but
of course.
Just the everyday, just like when we met again today, it's like we picked right up where you leave off, right? It's people don't understand what we go through on a daily basis, I guess, and we understand each other where it's a unique animal, I guess we could say. Right?
Yeah, because we see some things that we shouldn't see, and other people, it's a hard time for them to understand that.
Absolutely.
What about your proudest moment as a cop?
So it's funny that we're here, because my proudest moment actually occurred as I drove by here. And I take you back to 1996. Okay. I was actually driving by here. I don't know the exact date, but I know it was 1996, and I know exactly what time it was. It was 11:18 in the morning. Okay. And I think when you go through, it became a traumatic experience, because when that happens, the timestamps. I don't know the date, but I know the time. I was, like I said, driving by here. But what happened was a 3-year-old male victim fell from a second-floor window. Oh. And it was a beautiful summer day. And he loved to watch the garbage truck come collect garbage. Okay. And he's above, if you think of a center hole colonial, Right, you have the front door and the front steps.
Yes.
He was leaning over, which is the bathroom.
Okay.
He went out the window,
my God.
fell head first.
Oh.
Right, so you're a father, I'm a father. I didn't have kids at the time,
Right.
but kids are always, what
Right.
they are. And to be the first person on scene, like I said, and it was literally right around the corner from here. So it couldn't have been any more well timed out.
Right.
I was the first one there. I have 2 years on the job. I didn't take this job. I'm not big in first aid.
Right.
I don't like first aid. Blood doesn't bother me,
Right.
that kind of. But
Right.
but I took it for the excitement as far as writing tickets,
Right.
locking people up, solving crime, stuff like that.
Right.
So when I'm the first person there, and there's this 3-year-old just laying there, and as you know, you hear that death gurgle.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
The only thing I could think of was just keep him still, keep him centered, because I
Right.
don't know if he has a broken neck. But John, I'm telling you, the back of his
Oh, my
head, I've
goodness.
never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
Right, so I try to stabilize him. And as you know, when you go through these things, minutes turn into hours.
Yes. Waiting and
Right.
waiting.
So I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to get anybody and everybody to come help first aid.
Right.
Other officers, someone just to
Right. So someone to help, right?
help me,
Absolutely.
right? And my biggest concern was that death gargle and whether he was going to swallow his tongue, because
Okay.
he was completely out of it, still alive. And then the other thing that hit me was the mother's there.
Oh my God. I
Right.
mean, she had to be absolutely just
Distraught.
a mess.
Distraught. But here's the key, and I'm going to get to the end. There's a happy end to
Okay,
this, just
well,
so you
good.
know.
Well, yeah.
But the mother, I give you a guess. What do you think her job was?
A nurse?
ER nurse.
ER nurse. Okay, I was.
You were close, right? So her instincts is, you're not doing anything with my son because you're not following proper procedures. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to hold his
Right.
head. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't swallow his
Right.
tongue. And then, of course, my mind starts going, well, if you're an ER nurse, jump in here, help
jump-
me out here.
right, please,
'cause,
help.
right? I mean, you have kids. You're going to do whatever you got to
Of
do
course.
for your kids. But obviously, going through a traumatic situation like that,
Yeah, it's hard for her
she
to.
can't
Yeah,
do
no, she
that.
can't.
So then I remember, I'm telling you, I remember like it was yesterday. Other people showed up, and then I remember the ambulance. I don't know how far out it was, but it came in so heavy and hot that it was over the curb. I thought the thing was going to tip over.
Okay.
Right. So then once they got there, I pretty much stepped away. But then the next challenge became is taking care of mom.
Right.
Right. And making sure she was going to be okay.
Right.
Obviously, she's not. She just
Yeah, her
witnessed
child.
son.
Yeah.
So you start going through all the checks and balances of other kids, and where are they at? We have to get them home. Husband's in Kansas City at a meeting.
Jeez.
We had to call his boss, who then made contact with him.
Oh my God.
And we were able to get him on the next flight.
Okay.
And it's funny because you ask about the camaraderie.
Right.
We actually drove mom. They took him to the hospital in Newark.
University?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the traumatic.
Yeah.
Right. They actually grounded him for whatever reason. They drove him by ambulance to Newark.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Okay.
So the father got on the next flight, and we were able to get Port Authority. They held runways for this
that plane?
father
Oh, my
to
God.
land. Now you're talking a couple hours later.
Yes. Yeah.
But
sure.
we had someone down there as a liaison, and they actually, Newark Airport, I mean, they probably couldn't do that right now
Right,
today,
yeah.
but they stopped any inbound planes until this plane could actually
wow.
land. They took the father, Port Authority drove him to the hospital.
Oh my God.
So the end, you want to probably hear the end, right? So he spent many days,
Right.
weeks, months, and he survived.
Wow.
And he successfully went on through life, graduated from Penn State, and
Oh
he
my
now
God.
works down in Washington, D.C. I don't have any more contact with
Okay.
him, but we had a big welcome home for him, as you can imagine.
Wow.
And I stayed close with mom.
Okay.
Dad eventually passed away from an illness, but I didn't notice anything.
Right.
He had to regain all his life, all faculties, everything.
Right.
And mom was always hung up on that she could tell one thing, and he had like a slight limp. John, I'm telling you,
You couldn't tell?
I couldn't see it.
Really?
But your kids, right?
Yeah. You
but
know your kids, right? But that is an absolutely
horrible.
crazy story.
Horrible.
Wow.
And just for it to be time stamped and to be talking about this again, like it happened for
Yeah.
me yesterday, and to be sitting here and knowing that I was actually driving right by here.
Right by here.
When the call came in.
Wow. I mean, thank God that would turn out to be a happy story. But that had to be, again, traumatic for you, traumatic for the mom, traumatic for the child. I mean, that's just a horrible call.
Yeah.
But I'm glad everything worked out. What about your most dangerous call you've ever been on?
Dangerous. So every day it could be dangerous, right?
Correct.
But I would probably have to go with And this is a matter of timing again. Also, as you know, my station was on top of the mountain here, and there's a four-way intersection, and it was mid-morning, and I was going to do some administrative roles. And as I look to my left, I have a red traffic signal. To my left, I see one of those work vans coming towards me. So as I'm looking at it, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and I look, and underneath it, I'm like, something doesn't look right. You know, like when you see something, you're like, I know it's not right, but I can't put my finger on it. Well, what was happening was there was a gas leak in the vehicle, and it was one of those conversion, like worker vans.
Right.
Because it was driving, the gas was leaking out of the engine, and it was going underneath, following the drive shaft, and it was hitting onto where the muffler was. So it was sparking, and it was actually on fire. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, I gotta stop this guy. So he goes by me, and I go to pull him over, and as you know, right, those vans are used for one purpose and one purpose only: get as many employees to the scene.
Yes.
And as you know, those they're not always converted to be safe either. And if there was a back seat or back seats, there's no seat belts.
Right, nothing.
So I'm trying to process all this. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is on fire. So I finally, a little ways up the road, I get them to pull over. The other problem is, obviously, they don't speak English.
Language, right.
So they don't understand what's going on.
Right.
So I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, you got to get out. You got to get out. And I'm trying to see how many people are in the van. And it was like that circus van.
Yeah, there's a lot of
people. And John, I tell you, because as long as it was moving, the fire and the gas was pouring up. But as soon as
once it stopped, it's now starting to engulf. Yes.
And it got hot, and we got them out probably in a matter of, and I'm being honest with you, a matter of times before it went up, and the whole thing.
Really?
So, I mean, for me, that's what I kind of gravitate to, because I was right there.
You were right there. I mean, I think it could have blew. I mean, absolutely.
And the fire company got there, and they ended up putting it out. So it never really exploded, but it was a complete total loss.
Wow, that's
complete total loss.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a dangerous call.
And just think, so the other thing is, just think if that vehicle continued on.
Yes.
And it went to one of the location it was going to.
Right. They wouldn't have known.
They wouldn't have known. It would have caught fire, and then you're maybe dealing with a structure fire, because is it going to catch onto the house?
Right. Exactly. Right? So, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that probably, that probably would go with that.
Yeah. Okay. What about I know the child is clearly, you told me it was a bad call. But what about like the worst call you've ever been on? Was something worse than the child that fell, or would you consider that could still be the worst call you've ever been on?
Yeah, I would probably. Okay. When anybody and everybody ever asks me during your career,
always the one.
That always comes to mind. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd probably little Raymond. His name's Raymond.
Raymond. Yeah. Okay. What about the most outlandish, something that you could say to someone is, there's no way this actually happened?
It did. So we actually had partners on certain Thursday afternoons, and we were together, and we get a call of a pig walking down the street. Because remember, we're in a farm country here, right?
Area, yep.
And people, and it was more of a pet.
Okay.
But when I say a pig, I'm talking like a gigantic pig like this, big.
Right.
Big. And you ever touch one of those? You can't touch it. You can't grab onto them. They don't have any leads or collars.
Right.
So this thing is walking down the middle of the road. What am I supposed to do?
Oh my God.
People are coming out of their house. Someone gave us, a rope to try to get around him. So now we're trying to literally lasso a pig. So he's not moving. And me and my partner were trying to push him. Supervisor pulls up, because we're young patrolmen, right? So that's who goes, right? Supervisor's like, I don't know what to do. Someone in the house says, here. They come out with a box of Cheerios. I swear to God, box of Cheerios. We literally, one had the rope, one had Cheerios. We kept putting them in, and we let them down the street just like that. And that's what got him off the road and to where he was supposed to be. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, 100% true.
Leading a pig back. That's great.
100% true.
A couple questions left here. What's just like your favorite memory about being a cop?
Wow. I think the overall career success, if I had to.
Okay, just the
success of going through the career, number one. Number two, having a supporting spouse. As you know, right, this job is tough to begin with. We have a high degree of divorce. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to say I had to support, both at work and at home, and I think just getting through the career successfully. Yeah. And obviously, right, I think we're proudest of our promotions.
Yes.
And like I said, in 2002, I was able to achieve the rank of sergeant.
Right.
With only 8 years on the job, which is
that's good.
kind of young.
Yeah,
right?
it's good. Yeah.
But we were at a youth movement at that point. I was at the right place at the right time.
Okay.
And we ended up a lot of retirements after that, so a lot more doors open.
Right.
And I think, and as you probably would agree, right, that's the hardest.
That's the hardest part.
The hardest part to get is
Yes.
the sergeant.
Is that first move? Yep.
All that competition.
Yep.
But then the rest of your career goes from
Yes.
from that on.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I would probably say that probably just being able to start and finish, because not everybody does, right?
Correct.
And,
Yeah.
and you can go back to whether it was a traumatic incident. Some people can't recover.
Right,
from
they
that,
can't
right?
recover, and they
Right?
have to go out on a medical if they have to leave. Yeah, no, I know.
So, I would say probably just the career itself and having a
Okay.
successful family life outside
Yeah.
of the 26
Okay,
years.
great.
And continuing, I should
Yeah,
say. That didn't end. Right.
All right, if Hollywood came to you and they said, Doug, we're going to make a movie about you and your career, what would the title be?
I would say Courage for the Badge.
Okay.
Yeah. And without getting into too many,
Right.
I always followed three things: fair, impartial, and consistent.
Okay.
And as you know, politics inside an organization gets in the way.
Yes.
And you have to be fair and impartial
Yes.
and consistent. And sometimes that doesn't go well. And you have to speak up for the ones who can't speak up for themselves.
Right.
So I would say Courage for the Badge
Okay,
for that reason.
No, I love that. That's a great title. I love that actually, and the reason why. All right, let's. That ended the serious part of our conversation. Your career, which is I love actually. I mean, you have some amazing stories, a lot of fun. Let's get into some fun, quick rapid fire questions here. What's your favorite cop movie of all time?
I watched it yesterday, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
It was on yesterday. So it was Beverly Hills Cop 2. But either one of those.
Either one.
After 2, I kind of don't really.
I agree. But 1 and 2 are great movies.
Yeah,
Good choice.
Absolutely.
What about your favorite New Jersey actor?
Well, that's tough because my other favorite movie was on yesterday, My Cousin Vinny, so probably Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, all right.
Yeah.
Good call.
And it's funny because My Cousin Vinny is kind of like that cop movie,
Okay.
but on the other side, more of the laws and the evidence.
Yes, yeah.
I actually use that. I have used that in my current and higher ed.
Okay.
And I've actually used that movie to help explain.
Really?
Like eyewitnesses, court rules, discovery.
Yeah.
And so
Cool.
I'd probably say Joe Pesci.
I love Joe Pesci too. What about your favorite New Jersey musician?
Have to go with Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been a fan for a long
the
time?
newer Bruce,
The newer-
though, yeah.
Okay.
Probably the older Bruce that I only really have understand or
Okay.
remember is Hungry Heart.
Oh yes.
But
Yeah.
remember when Born in the USA came out?
Yeah.
It was a tough time then, and I think
Yeah.
that was a really good album. So
Yeah.
I'd probably say Bruce, and then, probably Bon Jovi's in there
Okay.
too.
All right.
A little
Yeah.
bit, but probably Bruce.
Okay. What about your favorite New Jersey comedian? You have a favorite New Jersey comedian?
Probably Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo,
Saturday
yep,
Night
yeah,
Live, right?
he's
Yeah.
great. I met him one time actually. I actually met him at Centenary College.
Okay.
I saw him perform. He was very nice. Chatted with us a little bit.
I actually ran into him. He lived not that far from here in the area that we
Yeah,
patrolled, and
yeah.
he was actually he was out in public a lot.
Yeah.
So I actually did run into him once or twice
Cool.
too, and John Amos.
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
cool. What about coffee? How do you take your coffee?
So this is unique. So I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
I never got into coffee.
really? Your whole career?
My whole career.
Wow.
I love the smell of it.
Okay.
But I just don't like the
all right.
taste of it.
Is there anything do you like tea? Anything you like?
Yeah. So
Okay.
my father was a huge tea drinker, but
Okay.
that's not why I got into tea.
Okay.
Following a mentor, it was winter.
Mm-hmm.
I was deadly sick, but we went to work, right?
Right.
And he went to this other officer went to Dunkin' Donuts and brought me back a 16 ounce of tea.
Yeah.
And it was inundated with sugar.
yeah.
So it made me get through the day shift.
Yeah.
This was a day shift, right?
Yeah.
It made me get through it, but I was instantly hooked on it.
Yeah.
So, but over the years, I've slowly teetered off,
Right, well,
that too.
okay.
And I actually sometimes a Starbucks tea, actually I just had one the other day, but
Okay.
yeah, no coffee, maybe a tea here and
Okay.
there.
All right. What's your favorite New Jersey destination? Where do you
It's
love
gotta
to
be Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Any particular part you love most?
Yeah, Manasquan, Chadwick, even a little bit of Seaside Heights, even though it's a little dangerous.
Okay, yeah, it's a little sketchy
unique there, but
sometimes.
yeah, either Manasquan or
Okay.
Chadwick if I could, but it's so
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah,
now.
I know everything's
Oh
so
my
expensive,
God.
but the Jersey Shore is great.
Absolutely.
And the last most important question of New Jersey, okay? Do you call it Taylor ham or pork roll?
I grew up on Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Okay, all right, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so far, 7th episode, we're 7 for 7 with Taylor ham.
Taylor ham,
and everyone says, because it's northern New Jersey, southern New Jersey, they like cold pork roll, but we'll see.
There's always Taylor ham.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, awesome. Well, Doug, listen, that concludes our interview. I want to thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, a blast chatting with you. And I need to thank Dino from the Pasta Grill by Enzo's here in Mansfield Township, Warren County, 1916 Route 57, Mansfield Township. Come see Dino, order this wacky chicken Caesar salad. It is absolutely out of this world. And call him for any catering, parties. Dino does it all. And thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Jersey's Finest Foodies. All right, let's keep eating now.
Thanks,
Thank you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're doing now with your career?
Like I said, I'm in higher ed, so I think that's important because you're still involved in the career. Because we're growing the younger generation, trying to get more interest in the younger generation to continue in this job.
So you were actually like teaching.
So I was for the last 5 years. I just switched into an administrative role. So I'm still involved with the kids, but more as like overseeing the whole group that I belong to.
And when you were teaching, was it mostly all like law enforcement?
100% criminal justice classes.
Criminal justice.
Yep.
All right, good.
Absolutely.
So you moved from there now administration, where you kind of oversee everything. It's like
being lieutenant.
Like being lieutenant again.
Yep.
in control of all your men. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you. That's fantastic.